George Kuruvilla, sir, Chairman and Managing Director, Broadcast Engineering Consultants India Limited, to share his dream on how a PSU can be part of digital India dream of Government of India. But sir, please don't mind, we have only 5 minutes time for you.
Sure. Thank you very much, and I once again thank you, the Government of Goa, the Urban Department of Government, and also Elets for giving this opportunity to share a few words here. We are a broadcast engineering consulting India limited company, which is 100% owned by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. So I worked with All India Radio and Doordarshan for 23 years, and for the last 4 years, I have got absorbed into this PSU, and so I understand both the sides of the world. And so the role of PSU, we find that as, Madam, you have been sharing about how do we do tender and how do we get L1 and how do we actually implement, which is the biggest challenge for nearly all the departments of government, with 5 C's in position, the CAG, the CBC, the CBI, and all the officers are scared about how do we go about, and still nobody points a finger at us, and still we procure it, we implement it, and in the best possible manner. If you go for L1, then we come into a situation where we don't get the right product. If you go for something else, then they say, okay, why have we spent so much on this? And somewhere in between lies the answer, where, the best of the technology in reasonable rates, how do we bring it together? So as public sector organization, that's what we have started working on. We were talking about platform, and we shared about the direct transfer platform. We talked about a few technologies together can be made as a platform which can be used seamlessly. So now we started working in that, is that if we are trying to see that what are the platform, whether it is for the smart city, for the safe city, that we can build as a public sector organization which can offer services in the rental mode, in the service mode, or even the whole building mode in such a manner that the project is implemented and at a very reasonable cost and possibly in a rental cost. As we said that, to acquire a technology is one thing, to implement it, but there is a recurring cost attached to it. So we are looking at any IT project or anywhere, at least 10% to 15% is a recurring cost for any license, whether Oracle or anywhere you take, you have to keep paying that money again and again. So why not we do and build up and bring a platform in such a manner that the same 15% which you spend every year as a recurring cost, that becomes a rental mode of services offered through a public sector organization. So we are looking at what are the best technologies that we can bring it together seamlessly, as we were talking about, not specific to a company, but the best that we can bring out, whether it is the various components of the storage, the servers, the networks, networking things, and also the automation software and the workstations all together, the various components of the IT domain together, which is used for nearly every platform, whether it is smart city, safe city, and then you have got other commodities like the cameras or the audio systems and everything. So that is what we are doing as a PSU, we are looking at. And in broadcasting, of course, there's no time to talk about, so I just limited at that. What in the broadcasting, we can say that, we are going into looking into that how the television can be, digital, made digital. Doordarshan is already going for it. But how it can be economically viable, that is a big challenge, because when we have got DTH and other services, how a digital terrestrial transmitter that offers 10 channels terrestrially will be good for people to take on to the digital reception when they have to the cable 500 channels and to the satellite also 500 or 300 to 500 channels available. And the radio also, we have got FM doing very well, but there is, once it becomes digital, the same channel can carry at least 3 to 4 FM, digital, audio channels. So once we go digital, then we have got a, the same bandwidth can be used to give much more services, and so we have to go digital, but there is big challenges on the receiver side. So how do we have a receiver which is, which can receive the digital signal television or the radio signal? That is a challenge, and that is where again we are working that we make receivers, because India is a big market, and we contribute, bring the technologies, make a receiver, so that we have digital receivers which can receive various kind of RF signals, both television and radio, audio and video. So we being in broadcasting, now it's a converged world, so we're looking at broadcasting, telecommunication, IT coming together, and that is where our knowledge of RF signals, the knowledge of broadcast, the audio and the video, together we are trying to bring and put our knowledge in such a manner that we contribute in the public good and the service to the last mile in e-governance and the surveillance and the analytics part of it and the execution part of it, how we can help various state governments and central government agencies to implement these technologies and provide them in the rental or service mode. Thank you very much.